Action!
Welcome, I'm Bruce Ray Wilson. Today we will be discussing the anatomy of a PyTorch script. For those of you who are new to AI, I highly recommend Andrew Ng's Machine Learning and Deep Learning Specialization Certificates. You may find them on the Coursera website. This video is for scientists and others who are new to AI to help them organize their AI software. If you are a scientist, your AI software is important. You will update your software and probably do so many times. Organized software is easier to understand. It is easier to port to other AI frameworks, and it is easier to port to other machines, including AI accelerators. Here is an example that I downloaded from GitHub. It is on the Python repo. This particular example is the minced demo. If you're not familiar with the minced model, it is for recognizing handwritten numerals. This example is pretty well organized, and it should be because it comes from the Python GitHub repo. So besides these imports, let's jump straight to the net class. The net class is going to describe the neural network for recognizing the handwritten characters. This video is geared towards the structure of a PyTorch script. We are not going to get into how to design an AI model. Something that is very important here is that the model is contained within a class. This is part of organizing your script. Here the model is contained within a class. This is very important. You want to keep your script organized, have it contained within classes and methods. It's much easier to deal with. In this example, the class net is inheriting from nn.module. Okay, so this is very important. The initialization method, the first thing it does is that it calls super, and then it gives its name, it passes self, and then dot the initialization method for super. The initialization method for nn.module. Next, they go ahead and describe the various layers within the model. As you can see, there are only two methods in this class, the second of which is the forward method. This handles the forward propagation of the network. Let's take a look at the main method here. The first thing it is doing is it's setting up the parser. Okay, so this is nice, this is straightforward. However, let's move it into its own method to have it organized. The first thing I'm going to do is set up the call to the method. So let's do this. Let's go args, and we don't need any parameters for that. Let's get to the end of the line. Let's put a little white space in here. Okay, so I need to change a setting here. Let's do this. Okay, let's go ahead and move that code up into its own method. Cut that. There's no parameters to that. We'll paste this in. And let's return args. Okay, and let's get rid of this blank line here. Okay, that looks fine. Let's just put in an extra blank line here. So now we have this getArgs method that contains everything for the argument processing. So we've taken care of that. Okay, so the next thing that I want to put within its own method is the data information. So let's go here, and let's go train loader and test loader equals get loaders. So let's go ahead and set that up. I'm going to throw in a blank line there. Okay, so we have that. Let's drop down here now and return those values. By the way, I'm using tab 9. It's an auto-completer. It is a plugin for a number of various editors. Here I'm using Code, so I highly recommend it. So on my other OS, I actually have it, the Pro version. Let me explain why I'm doing this. So it's become pretty standard to set up your data loading completely separate. This becomes important when you're doing other tasks. It is really nice to have the data loader separate. In the future videos, I will be showing you how to use this. This has also become a best practice within the industry. Let's go ahead and change the name of this method. Get data loaders. Something that I commonly find is arguments for this method. Actually, usually the argument is called args. So buried in our CLI arguments, there is various information that we're going to want for this data loading. In this particular example, it could be the names of the files. Okay, so I see I've made a mistake here. Let's go ahead and correct that. Let's slide on down here into main. Let's go ahead and grab this transform. We need to move that guy up into the method. Let's pop that in. This is not my normal setup. My normal setup will tell me which variables are undefined. So all you have to do is download an extension to code to get that. It is probably the Pylint extension that does that. Okay, let's scroll down here a little bit. Let's clean things up. Let's delete a blank line there. Args equals, use CUDA. Coming on down here. Oh, so we have to change the name of this method. So it's now get data loaders. Hopefully tab 9 will catch that for me. Get data loaders. Yep, there it is. Okay, so we have model equals, optimizer, scheduler for epic and range. And down here at the bottom we have if save model, go ahead and do the torch save. Okay, so for the way this code is set up, what it is doing is it's stepping through the epics, and for every epic it is doing a train and then a test and then a step. So this is a good start for the PyTorch script. So this looks pretty good. I did all of this on the fly. I don't guarantee that my code is going to actually run, but the general concepts are here, okay? Encapsulating your software, organizing it so that it's within methods, within classes, it just makes your life easier. So something that I have done is to assist others in converting their models to run on different systems And when it's well organized, it just makes it a lot easier. Okay, so something that I have done is I have assisted people in moving their models to like other machines. And when you do that, it just makes life a lot easier when everything is encapsulated in the methods and in the classes. So I hope you have learned something from this video. I have already decided which two I'm going to do next. However, they are covered by an NDA and will not be available to the public. If any of you out there are going to be working on AI accelerators, I encourage you to contact the manufacturers and see if I have any videos that you can watch on how to use their machines. So that is all for this time. Thank you very much for joining me. And remember, learn something new every day. Bye-bye.